Babe, wake up. Mort Dog just tweeted. And this is also the 4th video I filmed today. So much info to cover on the last day of PvE. We launch tomorrow. So in today's video, I'm just going to go through the patch notes that Mort Dog just dropped. This will be a lot for you guys who have been paying attention to the PvE. I'll talk about how this will change what we've been playing so far. Haven't gotten my practice session in. The PvE is on maintenance right now. I'm going to be doing a lot of practice tonight. So maybe some of the things I say will change a little bit based off of my opinion after playing. But I'm also going to do a meta prediction for any of you guys who haven't gotten a chance to play PvE. I'm going to do a meta prediction for tomorrow on what you guys can decide to play or to try to learn on your first day on the set. So without further ado, let's get into it. So on the 1 cost side of things, Annie is being buffed. This makes a whole lot of sense to me. Annie has not felt good. She takes too long to like ramp to get going. So just buffing her initial damage value should be nice. And this should also buff her second part of her spell, I believe. This makes a lot of sense to me. Maybe Annie reroll will be a thing. I'm not sure. But at least if I get an Annie chosen in the early game with like, I have just like a 2-star Lilia or something like that as my frontliner, I'll be more willing to try that. And I will try this today. Corki is getting buffed and a lot of stuff is getting changed on the 8-bit line. And Corki and Garen need some help for sure. They feel like 2 of the worst units in the game. Now, it's a small AD buff, but Corki has so much AD scaling in his tree. From 8-bit, 8-bit scales your AD, Big Shot scales your AD, and it's very easy to splash KDA in Corki's comp. So do not sleep on this change. I'm definitely going to test Corki reroll today. Before this patch, it was like the worst comp. So who knows? I'm going to try it out. We'll see. We'll see. I can't make any promises about that, but 6 AD can go a long way. Okay, Evelyn getting nerfed. I haven't tried the Evelyn reroll comp. I'm really not sure about this, but Crowd Diver reroll is very good with Katarina and then going into the vertical. So this makes sense to me there, but I have not gotten a chance to play the Evelyn reroll. And maybe this should be a reference to Evelyn Chosen being really strong as an item holder. I haven't personally felt that very much, but you know, I'm down. Kennen. Now Kennen is the best unit in the entire game, and I will die on that hill. And this bling bonus shock damage going down is a good place to nerf it, but Kennen Chosen is still going to be amazing. Superfan is amazing. Nothing touched on Lilia here. I don't think Lilia needed to be nerfed or anything like that, but getting like a Lilia with Kennen opener, man, that feels good. Man, that feels good. So still play Kennen, guys. You know, don't reroll him and try to DPS him, but great early game Chosen. Great just splashing it to have in your comp. Yasuo is getting a buff here. Yasuo reroll was really strong at the beginning of PvE when he was bugged, and ever since that, has not felt good. So I, you know, maybe give this a try. Maybe 1 cost reroll might be a lot better right now because they buffed Corki, they buffed Yasuo, they buffed Annie, and so I'm a little kind of, you know, let's see how this shakes out. I'm a little scared of a 1 cost reroll meta, but I don't think that's where we're at. I actually think we're more in a 2 and 3 cost reroll meta. But we'll see. We will see. But I'm going to be testing these tonight. I don't know if this change is high enough. Important to note, his 1% AD. He gains 1% permanent AD as he stacks up. So this will be very nice. You know, 580 is not just 580 because every time he gets 1% increase, it'll increase it even more. Okay, Bard is getting buffed. I'm pretty surprised about this. I do think he is on the weaker side of the 2-cost rerolls on the chosen ones. I think Senna and Katarina are the best 2-cost reroll chosens. And I'm actually surprised Katarina is not on a nerf list here. If any Crowd Diver is getting nerfed, I thought it would be Katarina on 3-star, or at least her chosen or something like that. So I'm actually kind of surprised at the Bard buff. It actually kind of works out whenever you can get it rolling, it works, but I never transitioned into this. This is my least favorite 2-cost reroll, so I guess it does make some sense. If you guys like playing reroll Bard, give it a try. Right now, it seems, you know, that's a good buff there. All right, Garen. Garen, in my opinion, is the worst unit in the game. Maybe Corki is the worst unit in the game. We'll see. But they're giving him some good buffs here. And this will also health gain from spell scales off of AP. So if you want to Titan stacks Garen, it actually scales off AP. And then it's very easy to splash in KDA. So maybe these changes will make him a lot tankier. My read is probably 8-bit reroll is not going to be good. But, you know, maybe that 6 AD to Corki is like a huge buff. It could be. I'm going to test some more tonight. Kale is getting a small buff here. Pretty nice. Kale does not feel very oppressive, and they're nerfing Riven and Edgelord. So this makes sense to give Kale a little bit of love here. Makes sense to me. We'll talk more about Edgelord reroll in a minute. My read is probably Edgelord reroll still be pretty good. Even with Riven being nerfed, Edgelord being nerfed a little bit. I bet it'll probably still be pretty good, and I'm going to test some of that tonight if I get an opportunity. Although I actually prefer playing AP Flex. And I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. All right, next up is Senna, and Senna is my fucking girl, dude. Senna is my most reliable comp. I love playing Senna, and this is a great place to nerf Senna if you're going to nerf Senna, because Senna Headliner is buck wild, dude. That radius gets so crazy. You put a red buff on her, you heal introduce her whole team. Oh, wee, boy. Feels very, very good. So I think this is a good place to nerf her, because 2-star feels entirely way too stable. Like sometimes I feel like I can top 4 with just 2-star Senna. So I think it's a good place to nerf her, and then 3-star will still feel super good. I still think reroll Senna is going to be very good at reroll Chosen into the true damage vertical. I think that'll be very good. Don't play rapid fire vertical, just play 2. All right, anyways, 3 cost, a Moo. This looks like a buff, if I'm reading this correctly. So he gains 4 armor per stack, but he can only stack up to 25. This is definitely a buff. So he went from being a maximum of 60 to 100 bonus armor. And his spell ratio scales off of armor. Let's see if they took that down a little. They buffed it. Wow, a Moo is going to deal a lot more damage. Wow. Guys, I do not think a Moo is very good. And he probably needed some buff. But you know who actually is pretty good? Vex. Look out for Vex in a Moo reroll. So let me tell you guys some tech that I'm on right now. I'm on some tech where I build AP items and like Guard Breaker and stuff like that. And I look to play Senna, Vex, or Lux, because guess what, Buster Boo? They all use exactly the same items. Especially Lux and Vex can use completely identical items. Senna items can be a little bit different. You can dip into Rage Blade and that sort of thing. But look out for that stuff. That is going to be my main strategy on first day that I'm looking to play. I'm going to do some testing on it again tonight to see if anything has changed, but I am looking to play those 3 comps a lot. Okay, Urgot also... okay, Riven got a little nerf. We talked about this already. I'm not a big Riven gamer, so I'm not sure if this like really takes it out. They did buff Kale, and then they're nerfing Edgelord. Where's it at? I think they nerf Edgelord. Am I tripping? Oh, trait, Edgelord. Edgelord is getting a nerf at the vertical. But if you end up just playing 3, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe there's just 3 Edgelord builds and maybe play a little bit more for Kale. I'm not a big Edgelord gamer, but Riven seemed pretty strong to me, so I bet you can probably still play this. Okay, Urgot is getting a small nerf. Also important to note is that Country is getting a small nerf as well. I still totally think you can play Country reroll. I think the shield conversion and just Hecarim's power was not really what felt really powerful. I just feel like Urgot is just a beast. And you get to play a lot of good units. So I think if you guys like playing Country reroll, you can probably still keep playing Country reroll. 4 cost, Caitlyn is getting buffed. Very deserved buff. Even with 8-bit stacks, it does not feel good. I was complaining about this yesterday. I played a vertical 8-bit game where I had a 3-star Aphelios, a 2-star Caitlyn with 3 items. Like I had an insane board. I was playing Heartsteel the whole game. And then I just get fucking railed. My Caitlyn does nothing, and I just get railed. So this is a great place to buffer right here, especially with Corki getting buffed. Getting the direction going into Caitlyn should feel a lot easier. So if you guys haven't tried Caitlyn recently, maybe give her a try tonight if you're going to be testing on a PvE server. I don't think this makes her like OP or anything like that. I still, after reading these changes, I still feel like we're probably going to be in a 2 and 3 cost reroll meta. But maybe things will be different. Let's see. Okay, Poppy getting a very deserved buff. Poppy is weird because she might actually be good, but I don't know. Every time I itemize her and I build a comp around her, she just doesn't do enough. I feel like I need 3 carries when I play her as one of my carries. So definitely needed a buff, but also I think Poppy might suffer from the fact of she's just kind of weird. Like she's just kind of weird, and maybe people just hasn't figured her out. So maybe these changes will make her OP. I'm actually like completely not sure. There's a lot of things I'm unsure about this, and but that's because set 10 is very complicated, fellas. All right, Zach is being nerfed, and I'm a little surprised about this nerf because Zach to me as a splash tank feels like the weakest of the premier tanks. I could have a bad read on that. Like with Zach, Thresh, and Blitz, he feels like the squishiest. And so I was surprised his spell healing was being nerfed here, but maybe this is because of like vertical EDM comps. And then if you're playing vertical EDM comps and you don't know what to take, even when you're playing Zed or Jax, a lot of times you'll always use it on Zach just because of the utility of it. And then your carries will heal a lot because it'll be off of Zach's spell, not on their AP. It'd be Zach's spell and then on their AP. On EDM is complicated. It's like if Jax casts Zach's ability, it'll be Zach's base level with Jax's item scaling. Okay, there we go. So I'm actually kind of surprised about this. Other than that, in the EDM comps when you do Zac as default feels quite strong. But if you guys are on the Lux tech like I am, the Lux Cinna Vex tech, then if you end up playing the Lux variation and you play EDM Lux or whatever, like you use it on Lux anyways, so this kind of doesn't change that much. It just makes Zac a little bit less tanky. But when I play that comp and I'm not using the thing on my Zac, I just assume my Zac is going to cast one time and then get, you know, go leave to get a pack of smokes and never come back. That's usually what I think is going to happen there. But anyways, next up is 5 cost. Jhin is getting a small, but pretty deserved. I'm not like early part of the PvE cycle. I was seeing Jhin just roll over boards, and I really haven't seen that much lately. So I'm fine with that. Kayn getting a buff makes a lot of sense to me. He seems kind of like one of the weakest 5 cost, and he doesn't kind of live out that fantasy of the win more type of thing. Like you're supposed to play Kayn when you are ahead and you want to win more, or if you just have some like pentakill emblems and stuff. Like he doesn't feel that strong. I only see him pop off with like a pentakill emblem, 7 pentakill. Other than that, I hardly ever see him pop off. Kiana being buffed is very surprising to me. Very surprising to me. Vertical Crowd Diver is very good, and that didn't get nerfed at all. Zed didn't get nerfed. I mean, I don't think Zed needed to be nerfed, but like Crowd Diver didn't get nerfed at all. I think Kiana is an amazing splash unit. I think True Damage Vertical is extremely good. This is extremely surprising to me. Very, very weird. I throw in a Kiana, no items, she always casts. So I'm really surprised about this. So be looking out for splashing Kiana into your comp to farm some items for you, like not the permanent ones necessarily. And then if you're playing like vertical true damage or vertical crowd diver, get ready to put items on this girl, because her AD scaling is actually insane. If you get 2-star Kiana, she fucks. And now she's going to fuck even harder. Hell yeah, brother. We love that. Okay, next up is traits. And we already talked about the country thing. Don't really think this changes a whole lot. Makes country reroll a little bit less strong, but I don't think this is like enough to make you not play it. Okay, next up is crowd diver. It makes it the splash at 3 country not as strong early game, like just to play without. I think it's a good nerf, you know, the country thing. Actually, let me look at it again. Oh, crowd diver is getting nerfed, but that's not why it's strong anyways. The country change actually does make sense to me. I don't think it takes you away from rerolling country, because it's just stage 2 and stage 3, and then stage 4 is when you're rerolling anyways. So, but just like a lot of people will play 3 country and not have a chosen, and they'll win streak. So this makes that change actually makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, Crowd Diver being nerfed a little bit makes sense, but I think Crowd Diver is just strong not because of that, it's because of the damage amp. But, you know, this will take it down a little bit, but I don't think it actually deters you from rerolling Katarina or taking a Zed Chosen and playing vertical and getting a Kiana going. I'm really surprised about the Kiana buff. I'm very surprised. Okay, next up, Disco. Disco is getting nerfed a little bit. The healing on it. This makes a little bit of sense to me. Disco seems pretty good early game. It's like good early game trades. I don't know if it needed to be nerfed. Whenever I end up playing disco comps, I ended up just like, you know, if I'm playing TF, like sometimes I won't even run disco. I'll just run better units a lot of times. But okay. Edgelord being taken down again. Again, this is just response to Edgelord reroll with Riven and stuff. Items, blue buff damage amp on takedown is being buffed. This is good, because I made a video the other day talking about Sojin and stuff, and it just seems like, why would you ever build blue buff when you can build Sojin? Because Sojin is almost as effective on all the same units as blue buff is. Like blue buff is like best on like Annie and Ahri. But like if you build a Sojin on Ahri, like it doesn't feel any different at all. And the difference is Sojin is good on almost every unit in the game. Like every carry can use Sojin, but hardly any of them can use blue buff. So this makes a lot of sense to me. Don't sleep on building blue buff now. Might actually be a pretty decent item. Gambler's Blade being buffed makes a lot of sense to me, and actually buffs the augment. I made my augment guide video today, and I was like, yeah, I don't ever take this augment. It sucks unless I'm like super high roll. So hey, look to take Gambler's Blade if you have like that Rage Blade Jinx opener or something like that. You know, can be pretty good to farm. Red buff is damage amp is being buffed. I'm a little surprised, but they have access to stats that I don't. But I like this red buff item. I like it. It kind of does it all. And I play a lot of Senna. It's a very good Senna item. So I'm a little biased here, I guess. Okay, augments, little buddies being buff or being nerfed. I guess that makes sense. I don't know. Honestly, I never take that augment, so I can't really give you a good information on that. 3s are and the drop being removed, and then 3s a crowd being nerfed makes a whole lot of sense to me. Especially, this is a good nerf to this is a nerf to the high end of like country reroll. Dude, when you play country reroll, you play so many 3 cost. There's so many comps to support 3 cost. You know, like Vex reroll, country reroll, Lux reroll. Like there's so many 3 costs, so many high value 3 costs like Set and Echo. You know, there's so many of those guys. So this makes a whole lot of sense to me. All right, so what is meta prediction? Again, I'm just giving a meta prediction. I haven't gotten to practice yet because PBE is updating right now, but I wanted to get this video out to you guys and go ahead and get you the meta prediction. So you have time to kind of chew on this, have your brain to chew on it while you practice, or maybe you don't practice and you're just going to play tomorrow blind. You scoundrels. So what do I think is going to be good? I still think we're probably going to be in a 2 and 3 cost reroll meta. That's not to say you can't play 4 cost. That is not to say you can't play 4 cost. It's just way easier to play 2 and 3 cost reroll right now. One, because of the economy changes on how on like leveling intervals and stuff. It's just easier to blow your gold on 7 instead of like, you know, trying to get to 8 and stuff. And it's just people are getting used to the interval. It's not to say you can't go 8. It's actually way easier to go 8 than it used to be. But I just think a lot of the early chosens are very good. Like Katarina reroll, I think is very good. Senna reroll, I think is still going to be very good after this change. I think Vex reroll got a huge buff. I think Lux reroll got the smallest nerf ever, and I think a lot of people sleep on that Lux comp, especially if you understand that Lux, Senna, and Vex can all use the same items. That kind of opens up a lot of stuff for you. If you guys know that strategy, AD comps like AD reroll with Riven got taken down, so maybe Riven is not going to be as good anymore. But I think Country reroll is still going to be pretty good. I don't think these changes really hurt Country reroll that much. Because again, they don't change the stage 4 scaling. Urgot, I don't even think the spell shield conversion was why he's strong. He just does so much damage with so little. And no changes to Samira or anything like that. I'm not even sure if those needed a nerf, but they just feel really good. Poppy got buffed, so keep an eye out for that. You know, I feel like people just don't know how to play Poppy, but every time I play Poppy, she's felt a little underwhelming. Very surprised about the Kiana buff. Look out for vertical crowd diver still, because if you get that Zed chosen, if you're able to go fast 8, you get that Zed chosen. Look for that Kiana. If you're playing Senna games, look for that Kiana when you're playing vertical true damage, man. Ooh, Kaisa got buffed. I didn't spot that. Kaisa is utter dog shit. So we'll see. I'll try to test her more today. And so maybe that's another 2 cost reroll you can look for if you're playing AD lines. Maybe look out for that. Look out for these 1 cost rerolls. I'm not sure. Like Annie, Corki, and Yasuo felt like dog shit. So I don't know if these changes like all of a sudden make them high priority. Like I really just need to test. So that is the thing I'm most unsure about. Another 2 costs that got buffed was Bard. So if you get early Bard chosen, look out for Bard reroll. That'll definitely be on my radar to test. I think you play like a super friend frontline when you do that, and you kind of have to get weird with it. But anyways, guys, that's my meta prediction is a 2 and 3 cost reroll still. But when you're in those situations where you can go fast 8, the 4 costs are good. So the 4 costs are still good. It's not like the 4 costs are bad. It's just way easier to play reroll. So I'm going to be trying out 2 and 3 cost reroll. That is going to be my strategy going in tomorrow, unless after tonight when I practice, if things change. If things do change, hey guys, make sure and like and subscribe, and I'll post on the community tab if like I test tonight and like, hey, maybe a lot of this stuff changed. And I'll have a video out tomorrow after I play on launch, you know, after I grind all day, assuming I do pretty well on launch. I'll have a video talking about everything that was successful for me. So make sure you subscribe and check that out, because I think that'll be super, super valuable to any of you guys trying to climb early sets. I will have my thumb on the presses. Yeah. All right. Anyways, that's it, guys. Appreciate you. I'll see you on the next video, you little goobers. You little stinkers. I love TFT. See you guys.